No, I'm chewing gum and you swallowed wrong.
Oh.
I see.
About strangled me.
So don't touch anything else.
Nope.
Okay, now.
Everything works.
Okay.
I almost had it working on my phone.
You got it working on your phone?
Almost, I'm fixing to hit a button. I don't know.
Okay. Oh, Kevin's touching it.
Just muting this speaker. Does not allow feedback.
Okay. Like I said, it's a little delayed. Now you're going across his arms. Yeah, okay, give it, okay, so we are live. You just walked away. Okay, good enough. All right, thank you. That's right. It is 7:16. I'm gonna go ahead and call this meeting to order. Excuse me, everybody. We've had just a minor technological glitch that we had to get fixed. So you haven't missed anything. We've just been trying to get the Zoom up and running. But anyway, if you'd all stand for an invocation.
Heavenly Father, we ask for your blessings on all of us gathered here this evening. We're truly grateful to you for allowing us the ability to be involved in the useful work of the city. We humbly pray for the wisdom to do the work that is beneficial for all of our citizens. We ask for your guidance in governing our city and to make decisions that will help in our efforts to move our city forward. We also tonight, Father, ask that you, the divine healer, please cover our Assistant Fire Chief, Curtis Hutt, with your healing hands and give him your healing touch. Be with his family as they go through this struggle with him and bring him back to us. May we find your wisdom and strength and presence in all of our endeavors, and may we find peace and unity amongst us all. Watch over us and keep us safe and healthy, and we ask all of these things in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen. Pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, we're gonna line on 4 announcements. Any announcements? Flip or whatever.
Real quick, the only thing I want to remind everybody is the fire department fish fry, September 4th at the city park. See everybody there. Any additional help and support would be greatly appreciated.
Just off the wall, do you have a contingency date, just for the heck of it, in case you might get some weird September rain?
No, we'll worry about that as
Okay.
once it gets close and we start defrosting fish.
Yeah, okay. Okay, any other announcements?
I have two,
Okay,
and one of them has to do with trunk or treat, and
trunk or treat,
Karen wants
that's
to.
Karen, okay.
But do you want her to speak now or wait till citizens comment? after?
Wait till citizens comment on that,
Okay.
and you do the
But
announcement.
but we want to have the park on October 31st. And so Karen's gonna spearhead that. Also on October the 9th, the Lake Tawkeny Regional Chamber of Commerce, they want to have a casino night in our park. And they want to do a Roaring 20s theme. They want to bring tents set up. And what they want to do is like a Great Gatsby type thing. They'll have casino games and things going there. And what they want to ask me if we could maybe help them by letting them use the park at a very nominal fee or not at all. And they would in turn get us a $2,500 sponsorship, which our name would be at the top of the header of this casino night, which that means it would promote our city, which that's kind of what we're trying to do here. So, but anyway, I'm gonna have Michelle Weicker see if she'll come to us and give us all the details about it because I know we can't make a decision tonight, but she just reached out to me today. She said, we want to get some stuff going in West Milwaukee. So if they're reaching out to us, I think we need to take advantage.
You might wanna, I'm sure we'll have meetings, a couple of meetings next week.
Yes,
So if you want to
okay,
include Annette in, we will, we definitely have a couple of meetings this week.
because I
And
think the last,
include,
I think-
Michelle, and if she wants to come up and,
yeah, we need her to come too.
okay,
And
okay,
I think at their last one they had last year, I think they had a couple hundred people show up, and
okay,
since there's no COVID this year,
okay.
that could be.
Yeah,
If
if you'll just coordinate it with
I will.
Annette, what meetings and everything, and with Michelle, and we'll have it down. Is there any other announcements? So do you want to do the announcement? What's next is citizens input anyway, but it's related to agenda items. So is there any other announcements? None? Is there any citizens input related to agenda items? I do have one. Is there any other? Oh, there's one more. Okay.
His isn't gonna be related, so we'll probably need to wait until the other one.
Okay.
Yeah, so there'll be, this is just related to the agenda items. We'll get you introduced at the next one.
Okay. Due to the COVID-19 spike in Hunt County, I cannot be in the small confined area at City Hall. Please read for the record. Mr. Mayor and Council, August 16th is the filing date for the petition submitted on May 7th, 2021. Council has held this item to the last minute with intent for 6 months. Council's intent will be clear soon this evening. I have pointed out that the petition filed May 7th and confirmed city administrators as valid is not the petition posted outside City Hall. The petition filed is required to be voted on in the next general election, not a special election. I've asked the mayor to see the resolution being voted on tonight. He refused. He refuses to be open and transparent in this matter. Earlier, I said the intent is clear. Council's intent is very clear. They do not want to let the voters in West Chillicothe vote on the petition as submitted. A violation of our state and U.S. constitutional First Amendment rights. Well, that's a question mark. The council has one of two intended outcomes here. One is to deny the petition. And he's saying there is no resolution for anyone to see, or number two, the resolution language is not the same petition as submitted May 7th. Given city has not voted on this petition call by the 10th business day before the August 16th, by default, the petition should stand. There is no time to file with the court as allowed to appeal. Case in point, a petition before Hunt County Commissioners held their vote on a petition call on July 27th, which is 10 days before the August 16th filing deadline for next general election. Hope our council does the right thing, follow the Constitution, and put the original May 7th petition on ballot for all to decide and vote. I doubt they will, but we'll seek remedy if they don't. You want to follow this? Any other citizens input related to the agenda items? No. Let's move on to the consent agenda. In the consent agenda, item 6, subsection A, approval of minutes from July 6th of 2021 and July 14th of 2021. B is approved bills and those to be paid for July 21. C is approval of financial reports for the month of July 2021. D is the court report for the month of July 2021. E is the police department report. F is the public works work order report, complete and outstanding for July 2021. G is the public works report for the month of July 2021. H is the permit report, which is none. The permit report and the code enforcement report, there are none. J is EDC minutes for May 3rd. The first one is for May 3rd, and I want to emphasize that May 3rd because of the, I want everybody to know that I've given a copy of these EDC minutes out before they were ever accepted or passed. but I've given that out, and May 3rd is an important date, and we'll be discussing later. May 19th, 2021, June 7th, 2021 meeting was canceled. I also had the Keep Tawakoni minutes from June 17th, and I have no planning and zoning minutes. To old business on line item set. I'm sorry. Yeah,
I'll make a motion.
so Leon,
I second.
Reno. Okay,
Leon Meyer,
Pam Reed.
Robin Myers.
Chris Burkett.
all unanimous. Okay, old business, 7A is discuss and or take action on a resolution number 379-8-10-2021, ordering a special election on November the 2nd, 2021, for the purpose of submitting to the qualified voters of the city of West Tawakoni for adoption or rejection of proposition adopting a ceiling limit of the city's ad valorem tax levy, applying to persons who are 65 years of age or older, or disabled who receive a homestead exemption on the property subject to the tax ceiling or limitation. Is there any, I think we've got the actual.
You have the actual resolution.
Yeah.
My question is this is a regular election.
It's a
for
regular
our-
election
for
day.
our city, but this is a special proposition, so
Yes, that's
does
why
that
we-
need
that's
to
why-
be
That's why
changed?
we've designated it as a special election. Whether it's a general election or a special election, this is the resolution you need to approve. This tracks the petition that you received. This is the same, but in fact, Greenville considered the same thing about 2 years ago. And this is virtually the same as the resolution they adopted on the exact same issue. So this has already been run up the flagpole. now.
Okay, so it's just a terminology
Yeah,
issue
yeah.
between.
There's no change in the timing of the election. Typically, if we're voting on the things we regularly have on the general election, like council
City
members and that kind of thing, those are general elections. If somebody has resigned and we're filling place, or we have something else, we call that a special election. It doesn't change the time, the polling place, or the opportunity to vote. It changes nothing about it.
It doesn't change the
It
context
doesn't
of
change the
the,
context of any of that.
okay.
And it doesn't cost us any more money. Doesn't cost us any more money. It's just on the same ballot. We pay for the election. Now, there may be some, I don't know if we pay some extra printing costs because of a ballot proposition like this. But I don't- They typically cover that. don't they?
Yes, it's just because other entities are involved in it, and that's how the price is set.
Yeah.
Okay. Any discussion or take action on this? Any other discussion, any questions?
So is setting this limitation, we're saying that that property cannot be valued over a certain amount? Is that what we're saying exactly?
Basically, it will be a valuation freeze when people hit 65. And unless they go in and spend money on their house, like if they go improve the property, then the value of those improvements will add to the value of the property. But when, the tax appraisal value on the same asset won't go up. So from the time they turn 65, when they claim a homestead exemption on the property, and there's a lot of property right here to apply to, because a lot of people have vacation homes out here. It's not their homestead. Regardless of their age, those properties will still be adjusted. It's property it's their homestead, the property they claim is their homestead.
Primary residence.
Their primary residence. Well,
So the value will go up on the county taxes, but they won't go up on the city taxes?
Now, Quinlan ISD has adopted the same thing, right? My understanding is they have, so they won't go up on city tax, on school taxes. If this is approved by the voters, they won't go up on city taxes. I don't know what Hunt County has done. I don't know if they have a similar tax rate or not. I know Greenville does, but we're not obviously paying great taxes. But it's Hunt County that doesn't.
I don't think the county has.
The only one is the school tax.
Yeah, okay.
So the school is already like, which is a big tax in Hunt County. Until this gets traction in Hunt County and they do it, if that ever happens, then their valuation will continue to move. But for our purposes, our values on the homes that are subject to this will be set.
So it's, just to be clear, it's freezing the tax rate.
No, it's
Not
raising the
tax
tax
rate.
value.
Yes.
Tax
The
value.
value.
Okay.
So if you get a house at $100,000, if you want the value at 125.
It may freeze the rate too. It may just lock the taxes in unless they go in and dig a swimming pool, they go in and add an extra bedroom, they go in and do some improvement to the property that actually changes the value. That would change the tax levy on the property.
If they don't take care of the property, it also doesn't decrease the price.
That's right.
Mhm.
It freezes.
Okay, and for us to make the difference, essentially those that are not 65 or older will make up the difference in the taxes they're not paying,
Well,
essentially.
No,
somebody, I mean, to the extent that as we go forward in the future and we lose the opportunity, the ability to tax value in the community, we will have to make that revenue up from other sources, whether we make it up from tax sources, whether we make it up on the business side of the ledger, whether we grow the commercial tax base here and make it up that way, which would be a nice thing to have.
Would be.
Those are ways, we'll have to make the revenue at some point.
By the year 2030, they say that over 65 is gonna double.
the number of over 65, yeah, yeah.
That'd be quite a few. Let's see, I get there next
I'm already there, Karen.
Okay, so, and I know we can't talk about that, citizens input. Is that still in line with what we're reading off here in this,
You mean what?
what was?
Word?
Yeah,
Yeah, I mean, he was complaining that we hadn't done it, we have done
yeah,
it. Yeah, we've had this comparison.
yeah, we've looked at this before.
And we told him at the last meeting, it was gonna be on this month's agenda, and I told him I'd have the resolution.
Yeah,
It's on the agenda, we have the resolution.
so we're good to go. The chair will entertain a motion.
I make a motion, we approve and put this on the ballot.
A second motion.
Kevin first, Pam second, all in favor?
Kevin Featherston.
Leon Myers.
Pam Reed.
Chris Burkett.
It is unanimous. Moving on to number 8 for new business, discussion and or take action on contract for election services between Hunt County Elections and the city of West Water. Yeah, okay. For discussion or a motion?
I mean, it's who we go with every year, so.
You ain't got any choice, do you?
So I make a motion that we enter into a contract for election services between Hunt County Election Administration Office.
Okay,
I'll say
West Water.
Leon second, all in favor?
Kevin Featherston.
Leon Myers.
Pam Reed.
Chris Burkett.
It is unanimous.
I have a question.
Yes.
How much does it actually cost the city to do this?
To do
It
election.
it varies. It could be 3,800, it can be 4,500, it really.
Depends on how many, and actually how many elections they hold, so if you're,
And
If
you
there's a bunch of-
see, there's a lot that's going to be, so we're all gonna be sharing the cost.
yeah.
So split up between everybody, basically.
But when a bunch of those, like the schools don't have contested races, then they drop out, and our burden goes up. What we hope is that everybody in the city is better about it.
Yeah.
All right, moving on to 8B, discussion and or take action on resolution 380-8-10-2021, adopting the 2021 Hunt County Hazard Mitigation Action. Any discussion, questions, comments?
What exactly is that? I've not been on the council, so I don't remember what that is about. I remember talking about it in council meetings before,
The,
but I know you sent us something and I wasn't really sure.
like if there's some kind of hazard that happens in our county or whatever, then they have a plan and they act upon it. And Hunt County is the first one to,
Okay.
take action.
Does that include like natural disasters, tornadoes? and that
Yes.
type of thing? Oh. Okay. Thank you.
And I believe it's John is our, is he our emergency management coordinator?
We haven't appointed anybody from here. Alan was our emergency management coordinator.
Okay, then we need to.
You gotta get somebody.
Yeah, let's, on the next, you make a note for the next agenda. Let's see if we can address that. So
I make a
looking for a
motion.
motion.
I make a motion. We
Chris first. Kevin second, all in favor?
Kevin Featherston.
Leon Myers,
Pam Reed,
Robin Myers.
Chris Burkett.
It is unanimous. Item C, discussion and or take action on the purchase of playground underlayment and using specific line items for the purchase. And that's Leon and Mike. You're both up, but
Do you wanna play that video? for us, Chris?
Hey, Clark Covington here with Nick Campisi. Nick, fantastic. Yourself? I'm doing great, Nick. Today I want to talk to you about residential insulation for Jelly Bean. But first, tell me a little bit about what Jelly Bean rubber mulch is.
Jelly Bean rubber mulch is a non-tire rubber mulch that is used as a playground safety surfacing. It's also used in the equine marketplace and in dog agility. It's 100% wire-free. It's made from pre-consumer virgin rubber that is all non-toxic and doesn't have any contaminants like you could find in tire mulch.
Great, great. I know it's been real popular for as long as it's been sold, and it keeps getting more and more popular. So tell me, why would a parent want this product as a safety surface?
Well, I think the non-toxicity is big. You don't have your kids rolling around in old dirty tires, which are not compounded for children to play on. Like Jelly Bean rubber mulch is 100% wire-free, and it's a great value. Instead of putting down wood chips and having to replace them constantly, or going into really expensive unitary virgin rubber surfaces, it's just a really excellent product that's a value for a parent who has young children.
Sure, that makes a lot of sense. And what would be the application for this product? Where would you see it used in the backyard?
Typically people are going to put this in like a swing set or a fort play area. We've had some people do some Ninja Warrior and actually like little rock climbing walls. So, it's primarily used as a safety surface. And, in addition, we've had some people use it in the dog agility as well, for their dogs to run around in.
Absolutely, absolutely. So it's very versatile. Now, how would the ordering process work if someone wanted to order Jelly Bean?
So it's pretty simple. You can order online, or if you want, you can call us in the office, send us an email, and then we simply put the order in the system. It sends you over a link. You click to pay. You can pay right with a credit card online, and then usually within about 48 hours, we're trying to get orders out. Now, keep in mind, during the busy time, we may get backlogged, and it could be a little bit longer to ship, but we try our best to try to get material out to folks' homes rather quickly.
Absolutely, absolutely. Now, this is kind of a two-part question. How do people evaluate the need, as in how much product would they need, and could they get samples to evaluate the product as well?
Yes, so we do have a residential calculator on our website. So if you just click residential at the bottom of the website where it says send me a quote, then you can put in your dimensions and it'll calculate how much material you need. Alternatively, you can certainly always call the office. We can do a calculation for you. And if you would like a sample, when you click that residential calculator, it will send you a link to get a sample order. And if not, we do offer just the ability to get one right off of Amazon.
Sure, absolutely. And how is the product delivered to the home?
So the product is delivered in a 1-ton super sack, which is banded to a skid. It will come on a freight truck, and they will set it on the ground. And the material at that point, you can just cut the sack, kind of shuttle it into a wheelbarrow or cart, and then move it where you need to go to set it down.
Okay, and so following up on that, in terms of prepping the site, is there anything people need to do to get their site ready for this?
The best thing really, you want to have a nice level ground. It doesn't have to be really actual level. It can be on a slope. You just don't need holes with rubber. So a nice, good smooth surface with no undulations. Put a weed barrier cloth down, something, we like polywoven cloth that's rated 30 years or better. You put that down and then you just throw the rubber right on top.
Absolutely. And in terms of post installation, keeping the product at top quality, what do you recommend to keep the product for a long time?
There's really no maintenance on it. You maybe need to rake it in. You want good borders to contain it. Wind won't blow this product away. You can actually use a leaf blower to blow the leaves off of it. And that's a good idea to use a good leaf blower right over if you have leaves or pine straw that get on it. And that keeps it from getting mixed in with the rubber. It keeps a nice clean surface. I mean, you can ultimately hose it down. The material really doesn't get dirty, and rain will rinse it off. So it really is pretty much maintenance free.
Great. Now I've got a few kind of rapid fire questions for you, Nick, that I've pulled off of Amazon when users were asking different questions about playground rubber mulch. So you just give me kind of a short or long answer, whatever you think is appropriate. First question I found is, does it smell?
It's going to have a light rubber odor. Now, keep in mind, our product has no VOCs, phthalates. We're certified to the state of California's indoor air quality. So you put this stuff outside, you're not going to even know it's there. Now, it will have a little rubber smell when you first notice it. When you first take it out the bag, typically within a few days, it goes away.
Yeah, that's great. That's really good. In terms of windstorms, will it blow away once it's put in place?
It's one of our most popular questions. Does this stuff blow away? And it's amazing that you can run a leaf blower right over the top of it. Leaves blow away. Wind will not affect it. We do recommend you have borders around the material to kind of keep it contained in. The material tends to lock in place. It really hooks together and doesn't migrate.
Okay, good point. Now, this question deals with delivery. Someone doesn't really have a driveway and they were curious, is there a lift gate option? Is there a way to get the product off the truck where they won't have to lift it off the truck?
Absolutely.
Great. Next question. This is a popular one. Does it get too hot during the summer months?
It does not. This material doesn't have a coating. It's not a black color that absorbs a lot of heat. And, it will not get any hotter than the ambient temperature out there.
Okay, very good to know. Now, what about mold or rot issues? Do you deal with any of those issues with this product?
I'll tell you something pretty cool. The original tile that we're manufacturing, that is the byproduct that the jelly bean is made of, it actually has an antimicrobial, antifungal that is baked in. So this material doesn't mold or mildew.
Awesome. Now, kind of a random question. Would this product fit for a carport or a garage surface?
Certainly it could. I don't see any holdback. While it's not really our intended marketplace, just to cover ground with a product, we've had people do it.
Absolutely, absolutely. Here's a good question. How much area will a pallet cover?
So if you take a 1-ton pallet and spread it out and it compacts 3 inches, it's going to be 222 square feet. Now, if you go to 6 inches, that's 111 square feet. So it's all going to depend on coverage, but we recommend 222 square feet minimum coverage for backyard safety services.
Okay, so just an average size backyard playground at 6 inches, just to get the maximum safety depth. How many pallets would that be, do you think? Just ballpark.
Oh, probably about 5.
Great. Next question I got for you, Nick. It says, the product says it's steel free or steel wire free. What exactly does that mean?
So our product's 100% wire free, unlike tire product, which, they've come up that these acronym agencies, the tire guys came together and said, it's okay to have 99.99% wire free, which basically says, hey, it's okay if we throw a couple steel shards of metal in the rubber. Our product is 100% wire free. Never had any to begin with it because it doesn't come from a tire.
Sure, that makes sense. Now, how large are the pieces of rubber? Does it look like mulch or pellets?
So it's gonna look like mulch, and one piece of the rubber has to be less than 3/4 of an inch. And so we found that we've experimented with different size screenings, all over the board. And what we found is that when we screen this product and we keep some smaller pieces, some larger pieces in, that the material tends to pack very tight. It helps us on our test data and really makes a wonderful dense product that's, one, safe, and two, accessible, that we do pass ADA testing with it.
Absolutely, absolutely. Now, here's a good question. Can the Jelly Bean product be placed over concrete and still be safe for kids?
Funny thing there, Clark, our product is tested over a plate of steel. So as long as you put, 6 inches in, it's tested to exceed 17 feet of critical fall height at 6 inches over a steel plate. So yes, you certainly can put it over concrete, asphalt, or any other hard surface.
That's good to know, especially if someone had a concrete patio or something in their backyard they're turning into a playground. Now,
That's right.
Is this mulch pet friendly?
It sure is. It is perfect for dog agility, dog parks. We recently had a couple large veterinarian offices that have installed our product, and it's perfectly fine for animal use.
Okay, and what do you do in the fall when the leaves start getting on there? How do you clean the product?
So you can run a leaf blower right over the top, and these leaves will blow right off, and the mulch will stay put.
Great. Last question. How is your product different than the popular rubber tire mulch you see on playgrounds?
So the main difference, we're not manufactured from L dirty tire. This is a product that is manufactured from pre-consumer virgin rubber that's not used, and that rubber was compounded for a child to play on. This is rubber that's redless, chemical-free, phthalate-free, latex-free, and is 100% wire-free. So it's a much cleaner alternative. It doesn't contain carbon black, will not leach out over time, and we have a 20-year performance warranty on the product.
That's excellent, Nick. You survived the rapid fire questions, all very good answers. Seems like a great product. If somebody wants to get a sample, place an order, or learn more, what can they do?
So they can call us direct at 877-249-8818, or they can go to jellybeanrubbermulch.com and fill out a contact form, and we'll be back in touch with them usually within about 24 hours.
Great, Nick. I thank you so much for your time.
Thank you, Clark.
Jelly Bean Rubber Mulch. Benefits playgrounds. In this presentation, you'll discover the difference between tire and non-tire rubber mulch, 3 differentiators that make non-tire rubber mulch a superior product, pre-consumer versus post-consumer playground rubber mulch, how roadway contaminants get in rubber tire mulch, how to ensure you are getting non-toxic playground rubber mulch, warranty info on Jelly Bean non-tire rubber mulch, financing info on Jelly Bean non-tire rubber mulch, fall safety ratings for non-tire rubber mulch, and installing your safety play surface. What is rubber mulch? Tire versus non-tire rubber mulch, side-by-side comparison. Features of tire rubber mulch, post-consumer product produced in tire factory, presence of steel wire, potential toxins in rubber composition, vulcanized product, hard to remove, tendency to leach paint on kids, roadway contaminants present, limited warranty on paint, seal lasting, features of non-tire rubber mulch, pre-consumer product produced in safety tile factory, 100% steel wire free product, no tires in product, no toxins or roadway contaminants in product, free of red list chemicals, warranted for 20 years against degradation, clean and free of paint leaching. 3 main characteristics of non-tire rubber mulch. Pre-consumer product, free of roadway contaminants, won't leach, color, or toxins like old dirty tires. Pre-consumer product, virgin rubber product produced in factory with intended use for safety and not roadways. Free of roadway contaminants. Product comes from factory floor to you as trimmings and scrap from safety tile. Won't leach color or toxins like dirty tires. Product is not painted or altered since it is still new. Long-lasting and covered by 20-year warranty. No need to replace every year like wood mulch or replace like tire mulch. Buy once and enjoy for many years to come. Able to pay over time, comprehensive financing available. Spread payments out over a 5-year period with potential tax savings. ADA tested, fall safety rated. Can be used indoors, no harmful VOCs. Exceeds California guidelines for indoor air quality. Top fall safety rating. Simple installation. Can be done by landscape crew, volunteers, or a maintenance team. Conclusion. Popular play surfaces abound, such as engineered wood fiber, virgin non-tire rubber mulch, tire rubber mulch, play sand and pea gravel, artificial turf or tire crumb rubber, solid or pour-in rubber, wood mulch. One stands out with a superior value, safety, and long-lasting product. Non-tire rubber playground mulch. Jelly Bean is the top-selling non-tire rubber playground surface. Get in touch for a quote on non-tire Jelly Bean rubber mulch. Call 877-249-8818. Visit www.jellybeanrubbermulch.com.
All right, see that swing? We do have some residents that have experienced.
I am so glad we did not go with rock. We were thinking about doing grass in the play area, but that would be a pain to mow around. We've done that before. And then we thought about rocks, but can you imagine how that would go, kids falling on rocks?
So we did some research and we found that Jelly Bean rubber mulch is really, really good. It's non-toxic, it's not made from tires, and the color will never fade. It's 100% wire-free, it's 100% paint-free, and it's made from new virgin rubber instead of old tires.
The other type of playground, I find that it might turn the bottoms of their shoes black.
This stuff actually meets California indoor air quality standards.
The mulch is soft, so nobody gets hurt. It's easy to run on, and the colors are really pretty.
Looks great on the playground, that's why we call it Jelly Bean.
Another thing that could be added in the park, that is a wheelchair swing that could be added in the park.
Jelly Bean rubber mulch. Benefits of a non-tire rubber mulch playground safety surface.
There's one really important question that was never asked in any of this. No, not that, but another one for as far as the use of it and everything. You build a barrier, put it in there, right? 6 inches. What happens in Texas when it rains 8 inches in 24 hours? Does it flow?
No, it does not float.
How can rubber not flow?
Rubber doesn't. Plastic. If you want to see some more videos, I can.
I'm surprised it wasn't in.
He's got, I've listened to tons of things on it and had 6 feet underwater on playgrounds in Louisiana for weeks.
Oh, okay.
And the mulch is still there when it dried up.
It even
So-
survived 2 hurricanes in one city.
So what y'all figured out, where you're planning on putting it at, what are y'all estimated?
Okay. The way it is at the moment is, and the way it needs to be, is 50 feet wide and 108 feet long.
So
That's
50 wide by what?
50 feet by 108 feet.
You should have that right here on the back page. of it.
On the very back page of that handout I gave you. Got it all listed there.
And when we measured this, it was with an added area where we could add some more equipment to. the
We just
program.
squared it off. Originally, I did it as tight as 6 feet out from each slide. is what you're supposed to have. And so when I did it that way, it came in a little less, but it was really messed up. The kids were gonna have to jump over the barrier to go to the swings and get out of it. So we squared it off, and that'll leave some area, you know, those one swings at the end down there are sitting kind of sideways. There'll be some area right there that's open for them just to run and play in. And that's where we can put other things like the swing for the parents to sit on to watch their kids. And maybe teeter totters, all kinds of equipment you could get for that.
So
To add to it over time, you don't have to do it all at one time, but we'll have the area already set up.
yeah,
Now, the other thing is, before you start asking questions, is if you look at that page before that last one, you see that fence?
yeah.
Okay, the border that we're gonna need for this 50 by 108 is $3,200. Okay, we can scratch the border and buy the fence for $5,200 and have a fence around our playground for just $2,000 more. And have that nice final 20-year fence around there. And that will keep the kids from running out in the road on the park. It'll keep them from running all over the park. Once their parents take them in there and they can sit on those benches and things and watch their kids and they can't get out.
But this is just buying material, correct?
Yeah, Mike's gonna do that.
I mean,
No, we're
I'm,
gonna help him. But
A
listen
lot
to
of
this.
city playgrounds have fences around their playgrounds.
Now this fence,
the small kids.
Yes.
let me show you the fence. The fence actually comes in,
I've built a couple of them.
well, this one may be different than what you've done. This one comes with one post on a section, and you use like a T-post driver. You drive it down in the ground 2 foot, you don't cement it, and then you just keep going until you get around it. And they go together.
They're kind of like.
They're kind of like.
And you can
And
get
the-
by with a lot less of the thickness of coverage with this as opposed to other materials. Because it's made out of rubber and the bounce factor is a lot greater as opposed to like mulch or pea gravel or something like that, because sand and rock and all that, when they fall off of it, they can cut their arms, they can scratch themselves. They're not gonna do that on these.
Now this fence, we're not looking at gates. We're not gonna, it's not gonna be.
No, there'll be an
secure.
opening.
It's gonna be opening.
Yeah, and it has to be
That's-
ADA.
We can do it any way you want, but
Right.
yes,
I would say you just have openings. I mean, we're not.
we can
Yeah.
just,
Oh, yeah.
we just leave out one section of fence and that'd be 6 foot opening and
Mhm.
they can go in through
And
there.
that's the.
And the
process.
fence is gonna take the place of the border. That bottom rail is,
Oh,
I
yeah.
called the factory from the fence company today. They've got 2,000 of those panels in stock right now. You can lower that bottom rail down anywhere you want to put it. It's not pre-drilled or anything like that. So we can set it right down on the ground and it can become our border to keep the tile in.
How tall would it be? Bottom of that fence.
That bottom rail is 3.5 inches tall.
Yeah, but dude, he's talking 6 inches thick.
We're not putting 6 inches. We're only
No.
doing 3.
You don't have to put six.
Okay.
He said 3 is plenty. 17 feet fall on your head on 6 inches is okay. We don't have it, but maybe a little over 6 foot.
Yeah.
So 3 inches is plenty
Okay.
We're ready to come back to dirt and grass.
for, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. All
And,
right.
3 inches is a heck of an improvement.
Yes, and it's gonna make, you know, and it,
Sure.
with this fence print, I mean, I just think it would, I think people would come from all around and use our park a whole lot
We
more.
looked at a lot of companies and they are the only one that have this material.
And you're buying this direct from the manufacturer.
This
There's no,
gentleman said he had a question.
Yes, sir.
I do have a question. Do they have a study on at what lowest temperature the material becomes stiff or harder?
That's a good question.
It's a good question. As I was, you got the samples,
Mhm.
on the, when I scored out.
yeah.
When rubber gets a certain degree,
Mhm.
it gets really hard, and if it gets stand on top of it, sharp edges like that, they actually can get caught.
I think
was
the
feeding
good
us
benefit
some
for
of
us
the,
would be though, if it's that cold outside, kids are gonna have 5 layers of clothes on.
Yeah,
Yeah, they're not gonna be barefooted.
yeah. Well, yeah, exactly. What I noticed in there, I was.
See, some of this is real, here, come here, Philip.
But some of it was rigid.
There's some of them that they're thick,
and some rubber.
And you're gonna
When-
find that
when
problem.
you get right
Well,
Yeah.
you can figure the
There was
thicker
a-
ones,
there
the
was a-
heavier ones,
One of
will
the
be on the
plastic,
bottom.
more plastic
They're gonna work
than rubber,
really
but it
good.
really, it's kind of hard, and it was real stiff, so.
And the reason why is because some rubber, when it
Yeah,
hits
yeah,
30
yeah,
degrees,
I would think
in
so.
30 degrees, you don't need 5 layers of fluid.
Right.
But when you get something
In
like
Texas,
Texas,
you
30
do.
degrees.
But you're
makes a
gonna
big
have on pin
difference.
shoes and stuff.
You need 5 layers of clothing in Texas.
I was gonna say, I usually have on long john sweats and
I do.
overalls.
So,
Well, that brings up my question, because it is so pointy, and I found a Dorito in there. There's an orange one. In it. Anyway, it is so pointy, and the kids are running around barefoot.
Mhm. But you saw them in the video, they were running barefoot on it.
Yes, but they're pointy, and if they wedge up, and if you also, they could hurt when they step, but figures. And then when they track it out, you know, you saw them tracking it into the trampoline, so it sticks to their feet.
If they're barefoot.
That was barefoot.
Well, I'm sure there's gonna be some.
Yeah, you're probably gonna have a little bit of.
That's why I would suggest that it is,
no,
I would suggest that it does have gates to it, the bigger gates for wheelchairs or whatever, but because we're gonna have dogs going in there too, and that's gonna be a sticky mess. When dogs poo on the stuff and you gotta pick it up.
well, this is a take action item. I don't know that we're at a point where, I mean, if y'all want, somebody make a motion, make a motion, but my opinion is we're not here yet, because there's some other things in the budget that we haven't got to yet. That's my opinion.
Well, that was my next question is there donations? Is there any thoughts of how this is gonna pay for or whatever?
Yes, there's a whole sheet of it there somewhere that Mike put together. And I think we can get the money from the agency.
These items that Mike has, wrote this sheet up with is in this year's budget. It's money that's still left in this year's budget.
Yes, that means, and the agency has some in their budget that needs to be spent this year.
Is that what he's written up that, I don't see anything I've got.
Oh,
Oh,
it's in.
Yeah.
oh, it is, just so much.
And I think we also have an option, if we just wanna pay some down, we could pay it out.
We do,
Well, we should be able to take care of all of it.
Mhm.
but we do, we're talking to John, one of the partners. He said that we can pay half down, whatever we can down on this budget year. And the next budget year, we can pay the rest. And he said, I wouldn't want to wait a year. I said, no, you're only talking about a couple of months.
That's just for
Yeah.
the mulch.
Yeah, but when your new budget year starts, you don't generally get right.
The
into
tax
spending.
dollars don't come in.
Yeah,
until
I recommend
around
January.
January.
So if we're gonna do it, it would make sense to do it now.
I'm just throwing that off.
Where are they out of? They got a weird phone.
Well, the first one's gonna come out of line item 174,114.
No, he's talking about.
Oh,
I think it's in here.
Is it 504? I recognize that, there you go.
That's Houston, Texas.
It is easy.
Yeah. Now the fence is gonna come from Home Depot.
And now go back to where you were talking, you were about ready, what line items or whatever?
well, the line items that I wanted to pull from is 174,114, which is equipment maintenance and repair. The next one is 174,132, which is equipment rental.
What are the numbers you got out beside that?
That's what's in that.
That's what's in
that
That was budgeted.
Okay.
Here,
Because I got it right here. I just didn't wanna, what I don't wanna do is cut ourselves short in an area, on a line item that we need money in. You know what I'm saying?
that's my tool from this.
So that's from this year's budget,
Yes,
not
ma'am.
from next
Yeah, I'm
year's.
not gonna use that one, so that's why I wanna pull it from there and actually use it.
So can I ask you,
Okay.
so, and this is just right off the cuff. First line item,
Yes.
174,114, equipment maintenance and repair, $7,648.97.
Yes.
So if I was to go audit all your equipment, tomorrow, I wouldn't be able to find anything that we need to spend this money on.
You would find a set of tires, that's it.
Really?
We're talking about the difference between this and water sewer equipment.
No, I'm talking about if I went and looked at tractors and I went and looked at, does equipment, does that fall into your trucks?
It depends on the equipment. Which equipment are you talking about?
Well, anything.
I'm asking the question, does that fall into your trucks? It's
No,
equipment repair, so,
I have equipment repair and maintenance for public works as well on water sewer side, like for instance, the mini X, the backhoe, the trencher, those things do not.
so what budget is this out of?
This is general fund,
Equipment maintenance and repair,
general fund.
general fund, okay? Which covers what equipment? I guess that's how I should ask that.
Public works.
It's
Oh,
under public works.
yeah, give it none under general fund.
Yes, sir.
I thought it was water sewer.
I have equipment that belongs to general fund and.
So
water
so
sewer.
that's how I should ask the question.
Okay.
What equipment does belong to this fund?
One mower and a boom tractor.
Okay. That's the only two pieces of equipment.
The rest
that
is
belong to
public
this.
works, water.
That's where I was going with.
So
my
2 tires,
question.
2 tires for which one?
boom mower,
The what?
boom mower needs 2 new front
What
tires.
about the grader?
The grader's good. I just had not all the tires, but the tires that needed to be
But
repaired.
the grader is part of that budget.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
And I just had tires put on.
So the grader is on this?
Yeah,
Yeah.
the general
And
fund
I
is
did put the tires on it, so.
So that would be my question. I would ask that we make sure we take a step back and really, really, really think about this before the end of this year.
Before you finish, let me say this, I can appreciate that, I can. And if y'all want to take a step back, I can appreciate that. But I put a lot of thought, effort, and research into this before I brought it to you. So
But-
I would also ask you to entertain that.
and I don't know, problem
And I want to entertain it, but I also want to make sure that the next time you guys go to use something, it works. Right? So
How much time do we have left in this budget year?
we've got almost, well,
6
August,
weeks. 6
well,
weeks.
yeah, 6 weeks. Yeah,
yeah, we've got all the way
6 weeks.
well, I mean, mine was,
6 weeks, and in that 6 weeks, we're gonna have to probably do more road work in that 6 weeks
then we had.
than we'll do for the next 6 months.
That is a true statement.
So and also mowing, you mentioned mowers.
Right.
So we're gonna have to do more road work and more mowing in the next 6 weeks than we'll do in the next 6 months. So I'm telling you, from me looking at this from an operations side of things, although it's very important to me, I would love for that park to look a lot better. I don't know if this is the right place for us to pull the money from, because I can tell you right now, from the experience that I have with Public Works and around and on the equipment, that I can have this money spent by 5 o'clock tomorrow. Promise you.
So take the first line off.
I can spend $2,000 of this money on hydraulic hoses on the boom mower. But I promise you, once that boom mower stays in operation, will be blown. And that's my experience mechanically. And that's $2,000 of me buying the hoses and me putting them on. Because one of those hoses is gonna cost us about $800.
Really?
Yeah, they're pretty expensive.
You know some Eagle?
I go right uptown and get them in.
Eagle?
But one of them is probably almost 20 foot long.
Oh,
And it's and it's inch and 1/8.
yeah, odd size.
Oh, it's just
No,
big.
it's a big thing.
You start buying hoses like that, you start spending money.
Yeah.
So, and so I appreciate all the work in this, and I appreciate the passion in this, but I also want to make sure that we're cautious. And I know that, and that's the reason why I asked. I didn't ask it in the beginning the correct way, and I apologize, but whatever equipment that falls under this fund, and when we said boom mower, lawnmower, and then I think grader came into it, well, apparently there's probably something else. If we dug a little deeper, we'd probably find another piece of equipment that falls into this category. I'm afraid.
So are those numbers that you gave us on that paper, on this paper, that's what you have remaining in those budgets
Yes.
for the next 6 weeks?
So even if you take out the one line item that he's talking about,
It's
you can
10,000.
deduct that money from the total amount, and you'll see we're still right around.
You 10,469.
I don't want to sound argumentative, I really don't. But we're gonna have to do something under that playground eventually sometime. I know we may not be able to afford it now, but we have got to get it under, we've got to get it compliant with what the state tells us we've got to have.
Yeah, I don't think there's anybody here that would disagree.
No, I don't, and that's, I wanna make sure.
I'm looking at it from a money standpoint. I think that's where Kevin's going.
I wanna make sure something I said a while ago is I want to see something like, if it may not be exactly this, I wanna see something happen. I mean, you can ask this man if I'm not passionate about the department, because I'm on his rear end about it all the time. But something I said a while ago is, I just don't know if this is the right place for us to take it. Right?
I mean, we can always readdress it. It's not, you know,
No, I
it's
just,
something that.
I know that these guys are fixing to be, and the equipments that you just mentioned off your cuff. And I think there's gonna probably be, if we dig more, we're gonna probably find some others that fall into this fund. I know for a fact, that this money could be spent real quickly. Because that boom mower is gonna start getting used before the rainy season gets here. And we're gonna try to clean up, try to get some of the stuff cleaned up.
And I can agree with everything that he said about that particular line item. So if we take that out of the equation, then Chris already gave you what the dollar
Yeah, so
amount
you-
would be, so we would need to find that
Yeah,
additional.
you got 10,469 starting there. You already said you're gonna address it with the EDC, possibly get more there. Then we just look at the new budget year to figure out where we want to get the rest of it.
I like that.
There's some options.
At the last EDC meeting, Stacy appointed Larry to get with me on doing something in the park. So they have $10,000 left to spend on their budget. So whether or not we can get the whole 10, I'll ask for it. Here you have a comment. if you don't mind.
Yes, sir.
One more thing that we may look at is to see how many more years we have on the depreciation books for that equipment and see if it's feasible to keep either investing on it or, because if we keep depreciating at 7-year rate here,
Depreciating what?
the depreciation of the equipment.
Okay.
And then we can see if it is cost effective, either keep investing on them or maybe later, if we cannot depreciate anymore, maybe better to kind of do a quick fix, sell it and buy and replace it from.
And it's awesome he brought that up.
But
'cause
what
that's part of
we're
the
talking about
budget.
here though, and he's doing it from the right, from the GF. This is money that, the public works money goes over, and goes into the reserve, and this general fund, I guess, does to a point, but you lose it from the line items. The money doesn't go in, we're not losing the money, but you'll lose it from these line items. But my original thought was, getting back to the money, we're tonight is a non-budget night, but tomorrow and next week, we're talking about budgets and we're talking about spending money. And we haven't even finished budgeting yet. So we don't even, to me, I don't feel like I could give it a fair yes or no without knowing what the rest of our budget's gonna look like for next year.
You brought up a very good point though, sir. We've lived here 8 years and that equipment was aging when we moved. As a matter of fact, he and I had the slide repaired.
Well, he's not talking about,
Yeah, he's talking about
he's talking about,
No,
equipment, not the playground equipment,
And all
but the motorized equipment.
He's talking about tractor.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Spend 7,500 and that type of equipment in a blink of an eye like that.
Oh, yeah,
It goes really quick.
yeah.
I'm sorry, I thought you were talking about the playground.
No, and on the playground, we were talking about 3 inches, right?
Yes,
In my opinion, 3 inches, when you have kids doing this, they get to the bottom of it really quick, so 3 inches may not be enough.
It's all based on fall grading. 6 inches will handle a 17-foot head fall on a piece of steel.
Yeah, but when you have.
And we've only got about,
Just think about this, I'm sorry.
well, you can think of lots of things.
Yeah, if you have 10, 15 kids running around and they like to do all this, because we even do it on the sand. You can get to the bottom of 3 inches. in just
But
one
they're doing
movement.
that on the bare ground right now.
Yeah.
They're wearing it out.
So-
You go look at it.
Only had grass and dirt out there. I know 8 years I've
I mean,
been.
I'm just sharing some thought here, so
Right.
maybe we can compare to other products or
And it's-
maybe other options out there. I don't know.
Well,
Well, you can research it. I've been doing it for 2 years. And-
Well-
And this is the best option there is. If you're gonna do something, do it right. Don't half-ass it.
yeah,
And 6
I agree with that.
inches can be done if we do it in time, in sections, and
Sure.
Well, we
You
can
know,
do
but
3
six-
inches to start with and then add 3 to it next year.
that's what I said.
Mhm.
But you gotta do the whole thing at one time. You can't just do a part of it.
Mhm.
What is the state requirement for 3 right now? Okay. Because we need to get that park into agreement with the state compliance, on it. And I think this is something that we were talking last
So-
budget meeting about how we need to have something that we have a loan on. This may be something we even want to consider for a loan on to get our park in compliance with state.
I'm gonna make a motion that we table this item until the EDC, we've been able to talk to the EDC and find out if they're gonna make any contributions to the upgrade to the park
I'll second.
and also until our budget conversation, our budget workshop.
Okay, Kevin made a motion to table and Robin seconded. All in favor?
Kevin Featherston.
I'm thinking.
It's all right. No problem.
I'll say. Leon Myers.
Okay,
Anne Marie.
Probably mine.
Chris Burkett.
it is unanimous. I don't want this to, get away and be, swept under the rug and not talked about it. Not by all means, right?
This
I mean,
council don't do that.
Yeah, we don't- We've done a great job in that. And actually, Michael, I don't think this time last year you would have seen any kind of figures like this left over the budget.
Yeah, and recommend, I don't know, no one from West Walker has ever gone, but Texas Municipal Annual Conference is in October in Houston. And it's 4 days in the Brown Convention Center this year. And all of the vendors that service cities will have displays there, including all of the park supply vendors, all the companies that do playground equipment and playground services, they'll all be set
When
up.
is that?
That's in Houston, it's in October. I've got it on my calendar because I'm going city something. But,
So you play on the equipment.
well, play with you, but they have a lot of other nice things you can go to, dinners and that kind of thing. It's a nice.
Yes.
Opportunity to get together with other city leaders. It is October 6th, 7th, and 8th in Houston, the Brown Convention Center. And so if you can squeeze that into your calendar and go down there.
You have to pre-register.
Yeah, you need to pre-register, but you can contact TML to do that. And Annette probably gets the information from them, don't you, Annette?
I haven't seen it. I mean,
She throws it away.
It was the 60 to what?
don't spend that money. I haven't ever seen it, but
That's the 6 to what?
6th, 7th, and 8th.
6.
Is this also a good time that we could set up a booth and promote our city?
You can, if some cities do, it's the.
Or we could be
the-
walking
the
billboards or.
The vendor cost is fairly
I was
expensive.
gonna say it's probably quite.
I mean, it's very typical. The city of Commerce did for a number of years, but they split the cost with Texas A&M Commerce. The city of Harlingen does it, but they're the South Padre merchants underwrite that. The city of Corpus usually has one, but again, they're beachside merchants. underwrite that kind of stuff. So very few cities actually do that. It's mostly, it's companies that sell fire trucks and sanitation solution or waste connections and all the trash companies will be there. And all of the big city attorney firms set up big booths Oh, so you have a booth set. I don't have a
Anybody?
booth set. I go there,
Go work for food or something?
That's why.
Must be a 4-day run.
Okay, so we're gonna be,
Okay, all right, let's move along. It's getting 8:20. We still got a few more things to cover. The item D is discussion and or take action of renewal of Logic Mobile System, which is our CopSync project. CopSync is what these, the mobile computers in our, squad cars use. And we have to renew this every year, so this is nothing new to us, but we need to continue to do that, because CopSync is about the most widely used software, I believe it is.
Yes.
Yeah. So, do we have any information on that other than just what's on the agenda? Or-
Yes, yes. it was
Oh, that one, okay, I see.
Yeah,
I saw that.
And,
contract comes in.
and she, explained that she had sent it late, it had been paid, but we had not renewed the contract.
The chair would entertain a motion.
I make a motion we approve renewing the contract.
Second.
Okay, that's,
Is this?
Chris.
Yes.
yeah, it's the same thing.
Yeah, we're renewing the contract.
All in favor?
Kevin Featherston.
Leon, I.
Memory.
Chris Burkett.
And just to kind of let the other council members know, so it's kind of like a network for officers.
Right.
Yes.
So they can, like an officer here can like, almost like instant message a Quinlan officer or a Hunt County officer or.
Yeah, and they can see on a map of what other officers are close to them, whenever they got their GPS on.
Is that,
Uh,
they use the same software or not?
I'm sorry?
The court clerk utilizes them. I used to tell the guy, hey, I need such and such citation number, or that's what I go through the court information system and download all the tickets from CopSync into my.
Yeah, it's handy,
And that they have.
it really is.
Yes.
Okay, move on to item D, discussion and or take action on future agenda items to be discussed. That's, I guess Chris's name. Yeah, we did, yeah.
Okay. So we wrote this up as future agenda items. First one is the farmer's market. Jim, I sent everything over to you.
Yes, sir. Oh, damn,
Both of y'all, but I wanted Jim to renew it, or we wanted Jim to review it for the farmer's market before we send it to council for approval.
And I did have one question, but I'll get with you about it.
Okay. With that, the group would like to change the name of it to Market on the Lake instead of the way we originally wrote it up, West Walking Farmers Market, I think. We would like to get everything moving. We'd like to have our first market on October 9th. So,
wow, you got vendors set up, right?
can you do that until we get everything approved?
Okay.
We're good to go, so let's.
Well, that's tight, that's 6 weeks away.
So
7 at the most.
we can review that maybe during one of these next budget real quick, just to
Approve it, yeah.
approve it.
Yeah,
so
we can
can
do
move forward.
Yeah, we can.
You got some potential vendors?
Yes, we've already, we just hadn't given anybody a
Okay.
thumbs up. Have you found the tents you want yet? Yes. Okay, 'cause I think we got about 3 of them donated, don't we?
Yes, we've had, Leon, Stacy, and
Carla said she.
Carla.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Good.
So is there any discussion or action?
Not on that one, because we're gonna, as soon as Jim
Okay.
reviews it, we'll get it back in front of everybody to approve.
Okay.
I had a note on there to get the contract for sanitation solutions signed.
No, not yet. We haven't even, there's no room to breathe right now.
The
We
only,
did-
the
we-
only, the only
we-
issue was whether they had the name, you said they had pink
The
ends.
pink cans, I never heard if they did or not, and
You told me you thought they did have. pink
Well,
ends.
they approved
to supply the pink cans. They didn't say whether they had to go get them.
I was not here to say, I was on Zoom that,
Yeah, they did approve to provide the pink cans.
Yes.
And that's for recycling, right?
No.
Oh, just a service.
That's
Okay.
cancer awareness.
Okay,
So
okay.
the two reasons I wanted to find out where we're at on it, one is the pink trash cans. We have our Town Pink in October. It would be neat if we could have those rolling out during that time. And then also the library, I know they could use that additional money that was put to them.
Yeah.
I think it's ready to sign.
I haven't
As
seen
long
it.
as we can do, as long as they can do the big thing.
Now, I had sent it to you,
I looked at it.
and,
I talked to you about it.
but you never said anything to me about thinking.
And that was what all we talked about. You told me you thought they had.
Yes. One of us needs to reach out to
I
them
just
tomorrow.
need to call Woody and find
Just call
out.
Woody and find out, because I'm telling him to bring those up, put those in the back of his car and bring them. Because he always brags about how when somebody didn't get the trash picked up, he went and got it.
Yeah. That's probably how I got to where he's at today. Is there anything else on that, discussion, take action, or future items? Okay. I'm
Moving
just trying to
on.
roll this thing along.
Yeah, moving on. I have on there still the annexation with Grimm and Sons.
Have you talked to them recently?
I have not.
Okay.
I think the big kicker for them was gonna be sewer.
Yep.
They put a whole new aerobic system in. I'm sure it cost quite a bit. I don't know that we had any leverage there on that side of it. I don't think sewer is gonna be that important.
Maybe, can we get?
Only reason why I can say that is
What
because-
Grimm and Son, that will be up there, can we get his tax incentives for X amount of years
Yeah, we
for,
could.
for city tax?
The only reason why I say that is because the guys are talking to me about doing some drainage work for him. And never heard from him. Well, I went up there and picked up some lumber that I bought, and as I'm driving around, I seen 4 brand new aerobic tank tops.
So when we stood out there talking to him, it wasn't, I've got to have sewer to do this. It was sewer would be nice.
They said sewer would be nice, but I'm gonna tell you right now, I know for a fact, after looking at his drainage issue that he asked me about, his drainage issue led to his septic tanks, which, so sewer would have fixed his problem.
Yeah.
Right. But that doesn't mean he won't just.
I know, I know,
And
I know.
to review what taxes in the
Do we have sewer at Scotty's?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, that's the last
There-
place.
There is an elevation change. Room says it's higher. than
Yeah,
Scotty's.
much higher.
Do we have to pump from Scotty's?
No.
The gravity flows to the plant.
And gravity flows to the
No.
lift station on the other side of the highway.
No, we
Yeah, yeah.
we could do it. I mean, I think we'd have to.
Yeah, we would have
There's
to-
sewer on the, yeah, there's sewer on
There's
this.
sewer on the Scotty side, so I would extend the line so many feet.
Yeah, but see, now you're talking going through people's, yards and everything
I
else.
mean, we could do it. It would be,
Yeah.
But I mean, we just need to have a conversation with them about it. I mean, it was a conversation that day.
Huge.
And that's all this is I don't want that to fall apart. That there is that opportunity that is a nice tax dollar for us.
Okay.
I just put it on here so that we stay on top of it.
When
Somebody.
you're already ready to go visit with them, let me know.
We only annex with voluntary petitions.
Right.
We're general, all cities, this legislature is completely stripped our ability.
Yeah,
And so we can't grow by annexation
they're forced to have.
until we change legislation.
Between.
Did they reach out to
Son
us?
and there's 5.
Let's not reach out.
Yeah.
It's sort of a conversation that happened at their grand opening.
That's
It
right.
would be a huge benefit for all of us. Really good answer.
So,
And the sales tax alone will be.
We'll keep moving. Like I said, it's just there just
Okay,
because I don't
all
want
right.
it to fall off.
When anybody's ready to go, let me know and we'll go up and sit down and talk with them, or we'll probably need to deal with the corporate office. And see what we need to do. We can work a deal with them.
You want me to reach out and see if we can set something
Sure,
up?
if you got any, if you know contact names or anything, I don't have any contact.
Moving on, number 4, the city's website, it seems to be an issue over and over and over. Danny has offered to step back up if we would be interested in talking with her. I think as a council, as a city, it's something we need to review.
Just to give you an idea of the price, we're fixing to work on the budget.
Nope, I can get a phone call out to her. I did not ask that until we discussed it here.
I guess Danny's a website.
First thing I wanna know, if he, is to make sure, you know, who, there's been some missing agenda, not really agenda, but minutes mainly from most of the board. And I don't wanna point a finger at Tony, cause I don't know the guy, but I mean, is whose fault is it? Is it our fault for not giving them the minutes? Or is it
A
his
lot of
fault?
mine is that I do not send them automatically, and I sent some the other day, but I don't know if, I called mine up, I don't know if he's posted them or not.
I think we can work those details out with this person.
I'll reach out to her and maybe get her to come in here on.
Okay.
She made a new website for the, yes. it's created.
She did it for the
She was
city.
very, yes.
Anyway,
So that brings up a question for me, you know, whenever I'm looking at expenses by vendor, we have this website administrator. Is that the current website we
Yes.
have?
Yes.
Yes.
And we're paying him?
See, his name is Anthony Jordan.
Anthony Jordan,
That's his
yeah.
name. Tony.
But what is he doing on that? I haven't seen any changes on that website and
He posts our minutes, he posts our agendas, he posts our notices. If we have an emergency, like we had this burnout on water, he posts, general information. Now, as far as upgrading and updating the pictures, that's our fault.
Well, not the pictures,
You
because
know,
I
I
sent,
mean,
I've
no,
sent him
I'm talking
pictures.
about
Oh,
the council.
oh,
and the-
okay,
and
yeah,
the-
yeah, that's our
and
deal
the
there.
employee. That's our fault.
But I-
There's some things that's our fault as well.
It took me over a month, almost 6 weeks to get some of the pictures changed on the website, on the city website. Because I'll get all those pictures that was courtesy of one of the former employees. And I just got some pictures, I think it might be Chris's, I don't know. But what I wanted to do was start asking people to submit your pictures, and I want to rotate those pictures out there on the city website. And if we can fix the city website, 'cause it looks like a kid did it. I mean,
so
it's
Chris is gonna
horrible.
talk to.
It's horrible.
Yeah, I'll talk to Danny, see,
Okay.
get pricing, get her here. I'm just gonna run through the rest of them, because
Okay,
they
go
are
ahead.
future agenda items. That way we can just, we'll
That's
review them
fine.
later.
Okay. We still got ground to cover.
Yeah, an update from the police chief. Like to know what his plan is and all that.
Have you talked to him?
No, I was just like,
So I know you said you want to run through them, but, and I want to say this to all of the council. I feel like everybody forgets that they're part of this council sometimes, rather than actually jumping in and going and asking somebody or making the call and bringing the information and saying, okay, look, I found this problem and here's the solution. Rather than, I found this problem, what are we doing about it? See, go talk to him, because he's an open door, right? So I'm gonna urge everybody, because I think we all need to, as council and citizens, rub shoulders with people like our chief of police. Instead of trying to depend on,
The council to get the information.
instead of trying to depend on, like, say, ask Annette, hey, what's John doing? Or hey, what's so-and-so doing? You know, yeah, there needs to probably be a fine line somewhere, but I mean, especially since he's new, we need to make
Kevin,
him,
and I know.
we need to make
Kevin
him
and I
feel
both
welcome,
gone over
right?
there and talked
So,
and spoken to him.
that's what I would recommend.
Yeah,
on
so
something like that.
We both gone over there and spoken to him, asked him, what's your needs? What do you need?
Yeah,
Tell us
but-
what.
Right,
And
but I see
sometimes
where
you
Chris
can-
is talking about
this is
too.
more of a goal.
Yeah. But my other thing is transparent. We, the citizens that are watching this right now, they don't know John, and they don't know any goals, what his plans are or anything like that. So I don't see of any other way to do it.
well, he has them, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
We need to put them out
He
there.
has them, and he's told me what they are, it's because I asked
If we'll get them that information into a council meeting, I understand where you're coming from, Chris. But we could get that out to those people that either watch the YouTube or look at the minutes once they're posted. That way they've got an idea of which direction our new chief is taking us.
So I might be hung up by a tree for saying this, because everybody's gonna hear me, but I'm gonna disagree that we would put something like that out to the public, because if this person doesn't hit bullseye on every single goal, they're gonna
Oh,
they're gonna expect that person to be hung up on the flagpole out front. So I'm gonna tell you right now, from a business standpoint, I'm gonna disagree that that would be given to everybody. Because if you look at it from a business standpoint, everybody on the operations floor doesn't hear everything about what we're doing moving forward for the next year or 10 years. Because if they did, and they find out we were gonna build a new break room and we never did build, then they're gonna hate the company.
Yeah,
Just an example.
I know what you're saying. You're right. You're right. It would be misconstrued.
Well, I'm just gonna tell you right now.
It would be
If
ripped
you
apart.
had 10 goals, you hit all 9 of them, you're gonna get fried for not hitting one.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. But there's some information, maybe we just need to get in here.
Yeah.
But you're right. And that's going from personal experience of hitting 9 out of 10 goals and you get lambasted on the one you didn't do. So is there anything else on your list?
Number 6 is the demolishment of abandoned properties. How we're gonna ramrod that. You know, we get the free one. We wanna make sure we're utilizing it. We haven't done to.
Well,
We haven't in the last couple of years, so.
well, I saw a truck at 424 yesterday, I think. I don't know what they were doing. Didn't see anybody. I just saw a truck backed up into it. Y'all know what I'm talking about? 424, everybody know?
On the highway
Before we
here?
start discussing specific properties that aren't posted on the agenda.
Oh, that's true.
The owners don't have notes, we don't
Yeah.
really are.
Yeah, thank you.
More general.
Well, then we have one that's in the public that has been talked about, tearing down, but, the actual owners of the property live out of state. They moved out of state thinking they had a lien on, a mortgage on the property. Back when I moved here 7, 8 years ago, Dwayne was trying to get the bank to foreclose on it. They wouldn't do it. And come to find out after it's set for several years, I did some more research and found out that the bank just washed the lien clean. I mean, they gave them the property. And they've got full ownership of it now. The only problem is they've got 7 or 8 years of back taxes. So I don't know. I mean, I've got the person's information, where they live at, their phone number, all that. I don't know if we need to ride and ask them about that. Who would do it?
Typically, we need someone to code enforcement, and the code officer would contact them and ask for permission to do the tearing.
Yeah.
And we could lien the property, if we've got 7 or 8 years of back taxes, lien the property no matter, because it's gonna be knocked out when the tax lien forecloses.
Right,
But
yeah.
at least we could go ahead and clean it up, but if we can get consensual tear-downs, we don't have to spend the typical 3 to 6 months it takes to send all the notices and have the hearings and bring it to council, and give the deadlines, and then order the demolition.
And that's where I'm coming from. I believe that
I think there's
several of them here in town.
There's multiple properties that if we had code enforcement to work, we would have consents to demolish.
Okay. And that's.
We don't have to do coercive
Oh, yeah.
for several years until we get the cemetery burned down, but we gotta get there.
All right,
And
so
we haven't had consistent code enforcement the last 3 or 4 years. We've had a code officer who do a pretty good job for a while, then they're gone, and somebody else, and they're gone. We need some consistency in those positions.
I agree. It's a good point.
I've been here for 13 years. I have never seen an effective code in this city.
Now, it's close to important position. The classes that I went to for EDC, they did in fact state that the most important position in any city is code enforcement. So anyway.
I know that's something the chief was judged for.
Yeah.
Okay, so.
The last one
Okay.
is number 7. And it takes both of my hats on this one, but it's something we really need to look at. And that is our fire protection here in town, whether it's our ordinances, our code of ordinances, our businesses, straight across the board. We don't have any protection out here. We don't have, we have it in our ordinances to have a fire marshal in town. That's why we don't have the county support. We need to look at these ordinances, and I recommend we do this in a special session or workshop, because we are way behind the times on this. And as we're starting to grow, we need to be growing with it and not playing catch up continuously.
Right, and with that position, that could kind of back up what a code enforcement is. There's some things that the fire marshal would have to be involved in.
Yes.
You know, maybe the property is out of compliance with the fire department. And, so they can kind of help the code enforcement, push some things through.
I made copies of all
Yeah.
of it, and I'd love for everybody at least take a look at it, and let's set up a workshop and kind of start working on this.
Okay.
Does the fire marshal have to be from the city, or can it be from the county?
The way it is written is, it is a volunteer position.
Oh, it is.
A lot of cities contract with people who serve as fire marshals, so one person will certify as fire marshal.
On multiple cities, yes.
Yeah. That's good.
But in all honesty, our ordinances and all that need to be updated.
Okay.
Some state stuff from 30 years ago.
Is that pretty much?
That's pretty much it.
So, I'm looking for a motion on this, to discuss an action item.
There's a lot of it.
The table, what we just did, because we tabled some of it.
Yeah, there's a lot kind of up in the air.
There's no motion.
Okay.
Yeah, the way she wrote it was for future agenda items.
Okay, okay. Okay, moving on, it's 8:40, guys. We're moving on to number 9, executive session. The council may enter into a closed or executive session to discuss the following. A, personnel under Texas Government Code 551.074, review appointments to EDC Board of Directors. So, yeah, we need to turn that off and, off it, yeah. Are we going, we're gonna stay in here? Go back?
I don't see a pause. I see a stop.
We just leave and go back to the.
You may have to stop and start back.
This should take
It should
us
take
2 or 3 hours.
Oh, I got my window set, I can put it. You don't miss the magic.
Oh, wait, I know you don't. What's your name? Eric?
Harry.
Harry.
Nice to meet you.
Yes. Like, hey,
Mrs.
and I
Robert.
know you.
And we know you really So Harry, what do you do?
What do I do?
Why are you here, Harry?
Because this will be my 14th month since I moved to this community the other month.
Where did you move from?
We were in the Fort Worth area
What made you come here?
and
Yeah,
decided
they want to meet you up.
to relocate in this area because of the city was too way.
We get a lot of that from Dallas. It is the crowds, school systems, education.
Yeah, and we have little kids and we said, you know what, let's try something. I was born and raised in Puerto Rico, in the country. So this is more like what I'm used to. My wife is from, the wife, she's from Mexico. So she was born in the country. So we saw the opportunity and decided to take the lead.
Are your kids old enough to be in school?
But yeah,
Quinlan ISD really is a good school system. I taught in Terrell, which is south of here, for 27 years. And I thought we were all that ages too, but Quinlan really is. I got 3 grandkids in the school system. Love what they do, love the ACE program. And that's really gonna help. ACE program is really gonna help for like that Friday. Because you're gonna have all your supplements done then. They got a new schedule, everything they're doing. But Tiffany Chapman, who does their PR work, she's fantastic. She lets us know. I'm Karen Corey, and I've lived here since 2009. And I have a page called I Love Lake Twacken, so I repost all of their information. Wills Point, Lono, Greenville, Quinlan. I post everybody who uses this life. So, you know, to see what's going on, activities and whatnot.
Okay, so we need to.
Are we still filming? People can still hear us?
Uh-huh.
Well, great.
Heard everything you said.
As clear as a bell?
Loud.